Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a test video to see how long each type of tree takes to grow in Farming Simulator 22. We're going to play this with 1 day months on to see how many months it is. Now it should translate over to months and seasons as well if you're playing with seasons on. There's no time frame as far as when you're able to plant and harvest trees in seasons. So there's no time frame for that goes. So it should all apply to all. But yeah, so we're here in August right now. It is August at 9:15 in the morning. I have 4 of each type of tree planted. So if you didn't know, as far as types of trees go, you can change them in Farming Simulator 22. I also have a video on forestry out as well right now too, so you can go check that out. But you have spruce, pine, stone pine, birch, oak, willow, maple, pagoda dogwood, shagbark, hickory, American elm, cypress, and downy serviceberry. And then back to spruce there. So I have all of those out here. I have 4 of each tree except for, well, I accidentally found an extra serviceberry one at the end there. But yeah, so 4 of each tree. I will keep you guys in as we go. Now, I don't believe that there's any distance requirement as far as how far apart they are. I know that in the seasons mod in FS19 there was a requirement, but if we have trees that are not growing to where I think they should, we might have to take a look at it again. But this is essentially what I'm going to call this right here is day 0. So this will be day 0 here, and I am going to bring you guys back in every day to see where they're all at, and we'll take a look. Or actually, I'll bring you back in every time they grow up another notch. My guess is they'll grow up every 4 days or so. That seems to be what I've noticed with working with trees in the past, but I will stop the clock every day just to take a look. So I'll just bring you guys back in every 4 days to see where they're all at. So again, the order that I went through in the store as far as spruce all the way down to serviceberry, they're in that same order out here. So if you have any questions as far as that goes, when they're each going to grow, my guess is they're all going to take a very similar amount of time to grow, but we'll just kind of have to see and play it by ear and see what they all kind of do. So yeah, I will see you guys when they reach their first growth state, or one of the trees at least reach their first growth state. So I'll see you guys here in just a bit. All right, welcome back everyone. So I didn't bring you guys back in as I went for a couple of reasons. One, every single one of these trees just about has a different growth cycle and pattern and time to grow and all sorts of craziness. So I couldn't even do the test all at once. I had to do it like 2 trees at a time. It's to make sure I actually saw when they grew up and everything like that. Yeah, I thought they would all grow up around the same time. They did not at all. It's very different in FS22 compared to Farming Simulator 19. So let's go ahead and go through it. I'm going to put a chart up at the very end after we talk about all the trees quickly, and then we'll talk about, yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, we're just going to work our way through them. So first up here with the spruce. This is the spruce fully grown. This took 2 years, so 24 months to grow, and it had 3 total growth states. Then we have our pine, which had 6 total growth states and took 24 months to grow. Then we have our stone pine here, which had 3 growth states and took 24 months to grow. Then we have our birch here, which had 5 growth states and took 16 months to grow. Then we have our oak here, which had 3 growth states but only took 5 months to grow. Then this one right here, the willow had 1 growth state and it only took 2 months to grow. And then we have right here this guy, we have the maple, had 1 growth state and it took 9 months to grow. Then we have the pagoda dogwood, which is kind of tucked away in here now. But the pagoda dogwood had 3 growth states and took 12 months to grow. Then we have the shagbark hickory right here, which took 4 growth states and took 24 months to grow. Then we have the American elm right here, which had 4 growth states and took 8 months to grow. Then we have the cypress right here, this little guy. The cypress had 3 growth states and took 6 months to grow. Then finally, we have the downy serviceberry, which had 3 growth states and took, oh gosh, 14 months to grow. So there you go. Now I am going to show a chart on your screen here. I'll go ahead and just get us more centered here. But yeah, okay, so the chart that you guys are looking at right now, it has the tree listed down the left-hand side, and then it has some X's and some L's, and also has some numbers across the top. So the numbers across the top are how many months. So at the end of the shaded area, that's where they were fully grown. And every time you see an X or an L, they went up a growth state. Now, what's the difference between the X's and the L's? Well, the X's mean that it went up within a time. So I guess when I started the test, it was about 9:40 in the morning in the game. And so the next day I would fast forward time until I got to 9:40-ish the next day. So if it grew up its growth state around within an hour of that 9:40, I put an X there. It grew up on time. Now, if it has an L, that means it grew up later. So essentially kind of overnight in between the 2 months. at some point in there. It might have been like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It might have been midnight. It might have been 2 in the morning. So if it grew up any of those times, I put an L there. So some of them have a mix of L's and X's, but most of them are either X's or L's. So they seem to be pretty consistent when they were growing up. So that's what the L's or X's mean. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. The main thing that you need to know is that it's going to be fully grown on that month. But some of the ones that end on L's, you might want to be a little bit more careful, like the maple. It ended on 9 months on an L, but it actually might be closer to 10 months because you're going to have to wait a little bit until the 9 months is pretty far gone before you get there. Same thing with the oak or the Pagoda Dogwood or the American elm or the cypress, because they go further along. Now, the ones you're going to want to use mostly for forestry are probably going to be, I mean, this guy doesn't even look that great for forestry because it's kind of curved a little bit. So, I mean, you have your pine here and your spruce, which look like they're beautiful. Like this spruce here looks thick, beautiful to have for forestry. So those are good ones for forestry. Further down here, really none of these are great for forestry. This one would be okay right here. Which one is this one? This is 4-back. Yes, this is the shagbark hickory. This one would also be okay. But all 4 of the ones I just mentioned that would be even remotely close to doing forestry with are all going to be in that 24-month cycle, so about 2 years to grow. So just be aware of that. But there you guys go. Hopefully this test gave you some knowledge about trees and everything like that. And also, too, if you were wondering, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but if you're wondering about poplars, poplars grow in 12 months. Poplars take 12 months to grow. So there's the time frame on that. I have a separate video that'll be coming out on poplars shortly. But there you go. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and for watching.